I I just don't want you to leave your loved ones sobbing. I honestly don't mean to hurt you, and if by any chance my any word hurt you, I am extremely sorry for that, you said with trembling lips. Some more tears rolled down from your rosy cheeks. Ting just stared you quietly. Will you ever think me as your husband, Ryan? Like not the one who just given to you in plate that you never wanted. He paused. His lips curved up in a sad, light smile, but immediately vanished. But someone else who you're ever ready to consider as yours. Mrs. Wyan, will you? He was now speaking in calming tone, but it was yet too intense. Just for once, for a little moment, maybe if it was just for a second. Is there any moment like that came when? Have you think to have me in your life in that moment, just for once? I'm even okay if it's just for a millisecond. Wan was just staring him with blank eyes, not uttering even a single word, and they stayed like that for a few moments. He sighed heavily as he wiped his glossy eyes. I got my answer. He chuckled sadly with teary eyes. Thanks for your time, and I'm extremely sorry for everything. From marrying you to my mother's harsh words, and not to forget her slap too. You can slap me too instead of my mother. Tears continuously dripping from his eyes. I sincerely apologize for everything that happened today. He wiped his eyes, but his sight blurred again as the warm tears were not stopping to come out. He again wiped them. His eyes stuck on the girl in front of him. He just wanted to stare her till his last breath, and his feelings were saying that he is staring her for the last time, and don't know will able to see her again or not. I can't drop you at your place if you don't want to stay here anymore. Pack your things and let me know when you want to leave, he said with heavy heart. He can use words to let her stay with him, but he knows too. She's too precious for him that he won't hurt her no matter what. If she don't want to stick with him, he just let her go. If she won't able to reconsider him as her husband, so what's the point to let her stay with him? It was just an obsession at first, but he didn't know when it turns into love, and now when he knows he loves her, how could he himself hurt her? There is no chance he will do something like that, so it's better to let her go. He said and turned around immediately as he's feeling like he won't able to breathe properly and he will have nervous breakdown any time. One was staring him quietly with millions of thoughts and thousands of emotions which she was not able to process how to handle them at the moment. For a moment one thought to just left him. Why she could be a burden in destruction of a family. She won't able to live with heavy heart, thinking because of her Taehyung give up on his parents. She just can't take this heavy burden and live peacefully like nothing happened in their lives. But on the other side, it was Taehyung, and all the conversation they have just now was stabbing her heart more badly. As his word seems genuine concerned, there was an unknown feeling in her heart that was telling her that you just need to hold this man, girl, and the rest would be your destiny. Tears continuously dripping from her eyes. Went sighed heavily as she made her mind. Tang was nowhere inside, and that was making situation worse than she expected. But she was consistent on her decision, so without thinking twice, went back her necessary stuff and leave from there without turning back. Ting came back home at midnight, totally wasted, drowned in. Finding dark, haunted house, he already knew she left him. She left him, he chuckled, sadly thinking they were destined to not stay together. Even after confessing his physique, she left him. Went be away. I came back at my parents' house as my mother got shocked to see me in miserable state, red puffy eyes and nose. She got too worried to see me in the street, but I somehow managed to show her that I was just missing her and that's the only reason I was crying and came here to meet them. She was not believing on my concordant story, but believed it eventually. After spending time with them, I came back in my room. I laid on my bed with only things surrounded all around my mind. I was struggling hard to not thought about him, and at the end, it was all wasted. I honestly don't want to think about him, but there is no other thought in my mind other than him. I didn't what to do to shrug him off my mind. Unknowingly, tears again start dripping from my eyes. Why my life is so miserable. First, my arranged husband didn't show up on wedding day. And now, when someone else marry me, he's also not mine. I'm not have privileged to have someone who cared for me, loved me in my life. Wan was just silently shedding tears, but the pain in her heart was becoming worse with every passing second. It's been 3 days and she was feeling guilty, miserable, betrayed, how someone in her life who loves her, but was true for her to him. Thing didn't call her in past 3 days. She had to feel better about it, but no, it was ruining her mood more. But what she didn't knew is Ting was coming in her house at midnight from last 2 days. Would just see her from far with shattered heart and then go back thinking it's his face, and the same thing happened today. It was midnight. Tian came to see Wen. Seeing the off lights, he thought she's asleep and entered the room. But his bad luck, his foot touched the nightstand and the vase fell down, creating a loud noise. Wen flinched as she got up from her slumber and was about to shout, but went quiet to sniff the familiar scent as she immediately turned on the lights. Tian himself were getting caught and immediately turned to run away, but when already on the lights there is no escape for him now. Tiang, she mumbles in inaudible voice. He didn't reply it as she called him again, little louder than earlier, coming closer to him. Hmm. He wiped his eyes as he was craving badly to hear his name from her lips all these days. Yes, he didn't move to look at her, and that made a pang in her heart and mind twirl around. Won't you stir me again? Wen's heart clenched, asking him like this. Ting didn't answer as he was feeling like he will get panic attack any moment after listening her. He didn't know why listening those words from her lips stabbed him more harshly as his body reflexes started to shiver lightly. He closed his eyes and clenched his fists to control himself. He don't want to show her his vulnerable state. I don't want her to sympathize him. She waited for a while but didn't utter any word, so she spoke again. Tiang, I didn't expect you should ever came here, but you came. She smiled, not knowing it's happy or sad. I want to say something. She felt a pool of tears swimming in her eyes but immediately wiped them. I want to answer your questions that you have asked me that day. His heart was beating so fast, struggling to escape from his ribcage any moment. What if I say I do? She paused before speaking again. I do consider you mine. I considered you as my husband, she said while sobbing. When you don't need to say those words if you don't mean them, please. I beg you, please. Wayne went more closer to him and held his arm with her both hands. But I think you need to listen to me, and if I didn't say anything now, I will regret later, as she continues. I considered you as my husband, thank she. Not only once, for a single moment, but every minute I stay with you were the best moment of my life. Every minute and every moment we spent together was so awesome and I enjoyed it and spent it wholeheartedly. From the first day I came in your house till the day I went out. Every time when you get closer to me, a euphoric feeling ruptured in my whole body. I want to admit that my body is different when you're around me, and it never happened before. I don't know what it is, but it feels good to have you around. Now she was facing him, staring him deeply, while Taehyung was trying hard to not stare her. It just feels good to have you around me. It just feels perfect to have you in my life. She let out a shaky breath, and each and every word I just say now was truth. I don't want to go anywhere, and staying away from you make me realize that. She stepped more closer to him that now they can feel how their heart is pounding out of control. Is your offer to stay with you forever still valid, Mr. Kim? She wiped her glossy eyes and slid her hand from his arms to his hand, clasping fingers with each other as her other hand captured his jaw, forcing him to stare at her. Their eyes met, and Wen saw his red puffy eyes. There was same flame, same going on at both sides. Both was in same condition. Oh, I forgot to tell you most important thing. She took a deep breath. I love you, Mr. Kim Taehyung. I don't know when it happened, but it's true. He immediately stared at her, searching if it's really truth, struggling to know if it's just a dream or perhaps it's real this time. Would you mind saying anything, hubby? She didn't get an answer from him as he was just staring her blankly. So she moved to his level and their lips met each other. His eyes widened when he felt her warmth. Breathing heavily, he asked Gwen to pinch his cheeks to see if it's also a dream. She frowned, but do as he say, and he whimpered lightly in response. A smile automatically grabbed his face, cause this time it was real, not a dream like earlier. So, do I take it as yes? Yes, for what? I ask, is your offer still valid to stay with you forever? Do I say something like that? I don't remember. Think she pouted while cutely blinking her eyes. He chuckles on her cuteness. And why you want to stay with me, Miss Wyan? She closed her eyes, totally annoyed by his behavior. She sighed heavily before speaking again. Cause I fall for you, Mr. Kim. I love you, Mr. Kim Taehyung. She looked back on his lips that he didn't even process what happened. What? No, that's not fair. I want it again. He showed his puppy nose to her as he blushed. I asked you something. She looked down as she felt her cheeks turned into dark red color, feeling his intense stare on her. My guess first. No, my answer first. So sure about it? Think about it again, Miss Wyan, and you may find me too possessive sometimes. Maybe sometimes I act like a he or obsessive or crybaby, or maybe sometimes too clingy or too weak. Would you be able to handle me in all those? She pecked his cheeks before he completed his sentence. I will, till my last breath, Mr. Kim. The next moment he picked her and swirled around in his arms. He was just giggling, a beautiful smile never leaving their face. She held him tightly so she won't fall down, but a part of her was telling her no matter what, he won't let you down, girl. Just trust him. While she was just giggling, he hugged her tightly after confessing and expressing his feeling as he's hiding her from outer world. And that's when an unknown thought of Yanu came in his mind with fear not leaving his side. I have something important to tell you, Wan, but please listen my side of the whole story carefully before reacting. Wan narrowed her eyes. I'm listening. Never mind, I will tell you later. He was struggling with fear and lies, and the fact that approach Wen and tell her before he do was more scaring him. Flashback wedding day. Yunwoo came out from his apartment, ready to go in wedding venue, but the next moment he got a call and he left from there, panicking. Reached somewhere after 2 hours, but someone hit his head and he fainted on spot. He opened his eyes at the same place and started to search. He then took his phone and called someone as he decided to leave, but then reality hit him and he went back. But it was too late and he found out when got married with someone already. As the dream got repeat once, flashback ends. Taehyung, hmm, what about your mother now? You asked him, your head resting on his chest while you both were laying on bed, his hand caressing your hairs. Look at me, Ryan. You faces him. You're my responsibility, and you don't need to think about all that. Just think about me. I managed the rest. He smirks. Oh, is that so? Sarcastic tone. By the way, Ryan, you didn't tell me when you called me. His signature smirk now leaving his face. Well, I have the same question for you too. She spoke in same tone, making him chuckle. But I asked you first, so I will reply after you answer me. Well, then I don't know. Maybe when you protect me, she went more closer to his face. Or maybe your cheesy pickup line stole my heart. Or maybe even before the faces was now inches away. When I was working for you, who knows? She was too close that the lips were almost touching, their breaths fanning each other, but she replied, shrugging her shoulders and went back to where she was earlier, while smirking internally. Are you perhaps? She just shrugged her shoulders. Why are not you becoming? I don't think you're mine when. Cause the one I know is too shy, too innocent, but the girl I spent time today was true. And you, she spoke cutting off while barking an inner cheek. So you sure you're mine, girl? I know, but I like my old Joanne more, he said as he. You're changing the question to your husband. Reply mine now. Oh, about that, I don't like when you're working for me a long time ago. Then he repeated the every sentence he saw in his dream for part 2. I'm not writing it again here. You may read it if you want to in part 2, link in description. One was just assessing him with glassy eyes and a genuine smile while holding each other's hand. Somebody say you can go on cloud 7 on earth. So yes, they're right. She was feeling like she is in cloud 7 listening him. After 3 weeks, they spent their happiest time. In these 2 weeks, Deng went to convince her mother, but what surprised him was she accepted Wan without more chows, and she told him that she heard their whole conversation on that day, and she was happy for her son. If he wants Wan in his life desperately, then she is happy for him too. Deng was not okay with her eavesdrop, but then let it go because she agreed. And now he only have to tell Wayne about as he encouraged himself to just let it go. Skipting was in his office, working on his laptop and felt thirsty but didn't find anything to drink, so he went out, but the next heat made his breath hitch away. He was one standing in the hallway with beside him. He just paused on his position, unable to breathe properly. Either didn't know what he had to do now. And POV, I came to meet him in his office with a huge surprise, but my next steps halted me on place when I see there. He saw me too and started coming towards me and just want to run away from there. I don't have courage to talk to him now, but the next minute he was in front of me and there is no escape now. I encouraged myself to just let it go when this. Now, hi Wen, I know you must be angry at me, but I have want answers of your all questions. She came in and he follows her behind. Oh, that's great then. Would you mind telling me why you betrayed me? Wen was trying so hard to not lose herself in front of him. I got that day, and when I got consciousness and came back, I found out you already got married. I know this must be hard for you, and I'm sorry for that. It was so hard to believe, but she just cheered. Well, you don't need to, and forget about it. Things that are meant to happen will happen eventually. She said without even realizing she thought a lot to do earlier when he showed up, but nothing happened now. She did nothing, and before she said another thing, she saw angry Taehyung coming towards him, who dragged her with him before standing at that glare. Taehyung was just gulped in fear. Taehyung dragged Wan in his office and pinned her in wall, getting in between his arms. What were you doing with him? He yelled, his eyes bloodshot. Wan gulped a lump in her throat. Nothing, he just told me why he didn't show up. And what he said he got that day. And nothing more. One shrugged her shoulders as he sighed and a leaf fell out in his grip, stepping away. He sighed before speaking in. I think it's time to tell you the whole truth. He opened his drawer and took a bunch of pictures and showed them to Wan. It was with another girl and a little kid. Looks like a complete happy family. Wan was not able to understand what is actually happening and what is actual meaning of these photos. She's his wife, and the little kid with them is his daughter. He's married with a 2 years old daughter, and I was the one who and also warned him to stay away from you. But he didn't listen. What actually happened that day, Tingsman called Yunwoo and told him his wife got. But when he reached there, he didn't found anyone, and Tingsman hit him and he collapsed, and the rest. When felt someone threw a whole mountain on her head, she didn't know how she had to react now. Her steps halted as she felt she will lose her consciousness any moment, but Dane captured her in his arm embrace, hugging her tightly and soothing her by gently greasing her back. To his surprise, Wen stayed there like that without saying anything. She pulled away after getting her senses back. Why didn't you tell me earlier? I was afraid to lose you, or either you get mad or leave me. He bit his lower lip to suppress his shuddering state. One just stared him blindly for a while. You're scaring me, Wan. Speak something. What do I even have to say? He just shrugged her shoulders. Are not you mad at me? I am, because you didn't tell me all truth earlier. And I'm sure that you must have reasons for what you do. But you think wrong. It didn't bother me. Maybe it did before, but now I'm happy with my life and most importantly, my husband.